Thomas was taking Annie and Clarabelle back to the yards. "Hello, Emily." "Hello, Thomas." "Yes, sir," she answered. Thomas was impressed. "These aren't your sort of coaches," he said, "but I suppose they'll do." "How dare he say we'll do?" Clarabelle whispered. "How dare he say we'll do? How dare he say we'll do?" "Hello, Thomas." But Thomas was cross. "Those are my coaches. Give them back." Then Edward passed, and Percy. When Emily whistled hello, the engines didn't whistle back. Emily couldn't understand why they were so unfriendly. She was upset. Later, Sir Topham Hatt spoke to Thomas. "New coaches? But, sir..." Thomas didn't want new coaches. He wanted Annie and Clarabelle back. "Those are Thomas's coaches." "So that's why he looked cross," exclaimed Emily. "I'll go and apologize." "Don't want new coaches, don't want new coaches," chuffed Thomas. "Oliver Hazard cleared his signal box." Emily could see that Oliver had broken down on the crossing. "Oh, dear!" Thomas could see Oliver. He knew he could never stop in time. "Help!" Just in time. "Hank, we did it." "The bravest," chuffed Oliver. "Thank you, sir," replied Emily. "Thomas, I'm sorry I took Annie and Clarabelle." "And I'm sorry I was so cross," replied Thomas. "Friends!" "Bust my buffers!" Percy cried. "What was that?" "The earth's crumbling." "We must tell Sir Topham Hatt," decided Percy. "The tracks on Toby's line are wobbly," puffed Gordon.
"Old and wobbly, just like Toby. That's not news. Can't stop to listen to your silly chatter."
"Gordon never listens to me," muttered Percy. "Yes, sir. But those tracks are wobbly," cried Percy. "Bye, Percy." "Nobody ever listens to me." Gordon and James took no notice.
"Worry wheel."
"Fussy funnel," said James. "Percy!" cried Thomas. "Thank you," said Thomas. Agreed the bull. "To the quarry." "I'm afraid the freight cars are in a mess." "Yeah, we'll have the old boiler in a spin, steam Bill." "Do it right," Fergus ordered. "Don't interfere," he snapped back. "Out of my way," steamed Fergus. But Ben just grinned. "Wait for the all clear signal," Fergus called to Bill and Ben. "Do it right." "Here he goes again," puffed Bill. "Do it right. From morning till night. He's always saying, do it right. We'll do it wrong." "Blasting has made that rock face unsafe," warned Fergus. "Don't go near it. Do it right." "Look out!" cried Fergus. But Fergus was covered in rocks right up to his funnel. "We shouldn't have been so naughty," said Bill. "Good," smiled Fergus. "From now on, we can all do it right together." Skarloey chuffed happily along. He didn't see the broken rail until it was too late. "Help!" "Yes, sir," chuffed Skarloey. He didn't want to go on the bridge again. He looked down into the rushing water. "But if you don't cross the bridge soon," said Rheneas, "Sir Topham Hatt will be cross." "If you won't cross the old bridge, you must stay here and shun freight cars." He's "Sorry, sir," said Skarloey sadly. "Bother." He chuffed slowly onto the bridge. The bridge groaned as he rolled forward. But Skarloey puffed on. And on. And finally, his driver coupled up. "You have got to be brave to help me." "What's up? Your smile's as broad as your smoke box." "Don't crack your smoke box," teased Thomas. The crane swung the boys off the track. Cranky had been watching.
"You useless little engines are always in the way."
Poor Edward. Edward was sad. Please, sir, pleaded Edward. Will the fitters be finished soon? Edward felt worse than ever. Oh, I'm stuck, he groaned. No. That's not music, wheezed Edward. That's an alarm. I'll get you to the concert in time, Edward. And proud. Except Henry. He was feeling ill. My boiler's grumbling. Maybe it's grumbling at you. That's not funny, hissed Henry. You just don't care. But Emily saw that Henry was leaving a puddle of water behind. She was worried. Useful engines don't complain, Henry muttered. Hurry up, Henry! I can't go any faster, Henry chuffed miserably. You're just being lazy, teased Thomas. Why did Thomas and Percy leave me so many freight cars, moaned Henry. They know I'm not feeling well. Henry chuffed and puffed and pulled his long line of freight cars. You can do it, Henry, encouraged his driver. Are you all right, Henry? Oh, thank you, Emily, wheezed Henry. Sorry, Henry, said Thomas. Yes, sir, whispered Thomas. Well, they mended my tubes, but they didn't even look at my brakes, my gauges, my squeaky wheel. All in good time, Henry. Poor Henry. He is proud of his shiny red paint and likes to look clean and smart. My whistle's clogged.
Silly!
Percy was trying not to laugh. Keep your dirt away from me. I'm collecting the mayor today.
I should do that.
You'd need a washdown first. Just look at me, Gordon.
Show off.
Grunted Gordon. Who's the Queen of Sodor?
Is collecting the Queen of Sodor important work too?
Very important work, exclaimed James. I'll do it. Gordon was delighted his plan was working. James was furious. That slimy old tub? Gordon tricked me. He wants me to get dirty. I'll show him. Shiny and clean, puffed James. James was sure he'd get covered in sludge. Shiny and clean, he declared again.
How did you manage to stay so clean?
I have to stay clean, boasted James, in case there's important work to do. My whistle is clogged again. Watch out, James. Dust went everywhere. Good, snorted James. It will make me readier than ever. I'm such a splendid engine. Oh. Ooh. But I'm too thirsty to feel useful, complained Peter Sam. I can find her a beautiful place. But refreshment stands don't live in cakes. All the engines were talking excitedly about the storm, except Peter Sam. He was thinking about the refreshment lady's stand.
Driver says this shed is useless now.
With many cakes in it, I'm sure. I'll be proud to, sir, replied Peter Sam. What's a spotless record? Whispered Percy. Join in, Arthur, said Thomas.
Root toot toot. We want to go. The fruits go off cause you're too slow.
How rude, huffed Arthur. Sir Topham Hatt doesn't like the troublesome trucks singing, said Thomas. You must stop them. You'll never stop the trucks from singing, laughed Thomas.
Chug, chug, chuff. You tug and huff. But you're so rusty you can't even puff.
Stop singing, huffed Arthur. Trucks should do as they are told. Troublesome trucks were cross. If they couldn't sing, they would teach Arthur a lesson instead.
You can't catch us.
Laughed the trouble. Duck had stopped at the crossing at the bottom of the hill, but it was too late. Arthur was upset. His spotless record was ruined. Oh, Arthur, what a mess, puffed Thomas. The troublesome trucks were singing. I told them to stop, but they made me go too fast. Please, sir, it's my fault. Fruitless for me to say more. But Thomas, you must help clear up this mess. Hello, Thomas. Arthur, I'm sorry I played a trick on you. Thanks for owning up to it. Spotless records are made to be broken, smiled Tom. Just like friendships. I'm sorry, sighed Toby. Please, sir, the windmill has been broken. The wood from this tree can mend it and make it work again. Yes, sir, chuffed Harvey. The twins were excited. Going to Lord Callan's castle would be like going home again. I'm glad I'm not going to Castle Lock. Scared the monster might get you, teased Douglas. There's no monster. There is too. What's that? Called Donald. For sure it is, answered Donald. It's not a monster, it's us. Oh, hey, agreed the twins.
An important job, cried Rheneas. Oh, thank you, sir.
You must make...
Yes, sir.
said Rheneas. But he was worried. He wasn't sure he was good enough to make the trip special.
How am I going to make the Children's Day really special?
You know the mountains better than any
engine, said Rusty. He felt like a very little engine indeed. Rheneas saw the castle every day. He didn't think it was special or important. I must think of something exciting to do, he puffed to himself. Rheneas was still unhappy. The trip didn't seem wonderful to him at all.
Must be special,
he puffed. Rheneas was still trying to think of something that would make the children's trip special. He didn't know the linesman had forgotten to switch the points. Suddenly, Rheneas was on the wrong track.
Oh no! This line is closed for repairs! Bust my buffer! Be careful, cried Rusty. The tracks are very bumpy!
Clattered and bumped and bounced along behind. He steamed across the trestle bridge. And the teacher covered her eyes. Rheneas was very tired and worried. What would Sir Topham Hatt say? It was the best school trip ever, cried the children.
Oh, thank you, sir,
puffed Rheneas proudly. Rheneas didn't feel like a little engine anymore.
It may be sunny now, matey, but there be a storm coming.
It may be sunny now, matey, but there be a storm coming.
Be a fierce storm on the way, Captain.
Salty knew they were making fun of him. He felt sad. His driver...
Aye, aye, sir,
replied Salty sadly. What's wrong? asked Emily.
Nobody likes to be made fun of by silly tank engines.
Emily knew she had to find Thomas and Percy immediately.
There be a fierce storm on the way, Captain.
Emily was cross. It's not nice to copy the way others speak. You hurt Salty's feelings.
We're just having fun,
said Percy.
Right on time,
congratulated Fergus. Then Salty saw a lantern ahead.
Fergus has a flywheel. It could power the generator.
Fergus's flywheel was attached to the generator shaft. Fergus was working as fast as he could. Just in time! Hard to starboard, matey! Sorry if we hurt your feelings, puffed Tom. We were only copying you because we think you're grand.
Then say no more, me hearties,
replied Salty happily. Oliver and Duck are great Western engines. But Oliver thinks snow is messy and cold. I'm a great Western engine, he chuffed one day. I shouldn't have to shiver, but I think snow is splendid. Each time Oliver passed by, the snowman grew bigger. And bigger. And bigger. And bigger.
Just an observation, Mr. Oliver. Snow is magical.
Oh. Oliver chuffed back to his warm, cozy shed. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting for him. But all this snow makes my wheels feel chilly. And diverted Oliver into the station side. Whoa, shiver my boiler, cried Oliver. His driver applied the brakes.
Is there a problem, Mr. Oliver?
Yeah, there is.
That could have been a little smooth.
Oliver felt awful. He thought the children would be upset about their snowman. I'll be out here all night, moaned Oliver. I was right all along. There's nothing magical about snow. Brr. Our snowman has eyes in its tummy. When Oliver woke up, he was surrounded by happy children. Oliver was so relieved that suddenly he didn't even feel cold anymore. When Duck arrived with the breakdown crane, Oliver didn't want to leave. He was enjoying the winter festival so much. You were right, Toad, Oliver called. There are some magical things about snow. Perhaps, Mr. Oliver,